Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Sam from Zrodder Bet, and we are back with another prediction video. Tonight, UFC Fight Night 192, Smith versus Spann. I'll divide these videos as follows. First I'll talk about the previous results, then I'll talk about all the picks and the bets, then on to the breakdowns. If you wish to support the channel, stick until the end and show you how. If you're new around here, I'm a handicapper, the MMA predictions, and I have experience of betting MMA and the UFC for over 10 years. So let's get right into it, guys. This is, if you're familiar, if you're a returning subscriber, this is basically my metrics for since the start of the channel, July last year. So I'll just cover the latest results. If you want prior to that, feel free to take a look on the playlist on the other videos. Everything's there, it's recorded. So I risk 3 units. I lost 1.32 units in the last card, so it was a loss of 1.32 units in the from a unit perspective, and it's 44% in terms of the per event. This is the amount of bets that I got correct, and picks and bets. So these are my overall stats, guys. So it's been quite the last couple of months have been quite difficult for me in terms of bets, but it's been a long time since I don't feel confident on the card. I will talk about right away. But I also separate these things in high, medium, and low quality bets. So this is the profit per segment from the beginning of the channel. So you guys can see here in this chart what I'm doing when I put high, medium, and low confidence bets. And this is my evolutions through time. So like I told you guys, I got quite tough months, couple of months here. Then basically broke even last month with one single event that I bet, and then for this month I have this small loss as of now, but I think in this card things will get back on track. Alright, so guys, like I told you guys, it's been a while since I don't see a card that I'm confident and betting, you know, quite comfortably. Let's see if this is holds true. And before getting to the picks, if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, if you'd like to follow me, I put up some bets that I take there sometimes prior to the video. So these are some bets that I'm taking. Feel free to take a look at it, right? And you know, I'm gonna be releasing this on YouTube, and this is in general part of my just the $10 tiers on the Patreon. But since I haven't been posting, you know, much, I'm doing late postings because I was quite busy with other things. But now I'm getting back, like I told you guys. Hopefully things will get back to normal. So I'm releasing this video early on. Yeah, to you guys. Alright, so no further ado. Sorry about this long introduction, but let's get right into it. So between Joaquin Buckley and Antonio Arroyo, I'm picking and betting Arroyo. This is a medium confidence bet for me. I like the lines, so 2.25% of my money. DAkota Bush versus Zhu Rong, I'm picking and betting Bush. 1.25% of my money. Nikolas Motta versus Jim Miller, I'm passing, but I'm picking Motta. Impa kasanganay versus Carlston Harris, I'm picking and betting Harris. 0.75% of my money. Tony Gravely versus Nate Maness, picking Gravely, not betting the fight. Nick Maximov versus Carl Robertson, I'm picking Maximov but not betting. Montel Jackson versus JP Buys, I'm picking Jackson but betting Buys. 1% of my money. Erin Blanchfield versus Alpar, picking Blanchfield, not betting. Arman Tsarukan versus Christos Giagos, picking Tsarukan, not betting. Gustavo Lopez versus Alateng Heili, picking Lopez, not betting. Cutelaba versus Devin Clark, I'm picking Cutelaba but not betting the fight. Emily Whitmire versus Hannah Goldy, I'm picking betting Whitmire. 2.25% of my money. Actually, this is a medium confidence for me as well. Tafon Chukwi versus Mike Rodriguez, I'm picking Rodriguez but not betting the fight. Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann, the main event, I'm picking Smith but not betting the fight. Raquel Pennington versus Pannie Kianzad, I'm picking and betting Pennington, my most confident bet of the card. 3.25% of my money. Ariane Lipski versus Mandy Bohm, second biggest bet, 3% on Lipski. Alright, so guys, let's break this down to you guys. If you wish access to this spreadsheet, this is part of my USD $50 tiers, the ultimate pack, because it comes with the betting strategy and all the open bets that I have line by line. I'll show in the end. Alright, and this material that I'm gonna be showing here, which is my analysis. I have a sum up of all the fights and basically the bets that I'm taking, and the reason. This is a part of my USD $10 tier. Alright, And also I'm coming with my the best bet of the card with the USD $5 tiers. I'll talk about this in the end. Alright, so between Erin Blanchfield, and this is not in the order, okay guys, apologize, but just putting the thing in the order that I was evaluating this thing. So Erin Blanchfield versus Alpar. It's a rather interesting fight here. They're basically the same fighters. For me, it's quite tough to call because I don't have much footage to analyze on Alpar. Some of these videos were not available to me, but she's a quite similar fighter to Erin and Blanchfield. Sorry, noise guys. So sorry about this noise. So Erin Blanchfield, she's way younger. You know, she's only 21. Sorry. So she's extremely young, and she's for real. You know, this girl trains hard. She's committed to her career, which gives her a very good advantage. You know, she's also very technical on the ground. She has a decent wrestling game, and in terms of striking, she's not the best. She makes some mistakes. You know, she's not the longest, biggest girl. She gets inside, exposes her chin, doesn't have much angles, much feints, but she's better, a little bit better than Alpar. Because Alpar is pretty much the same, but with a little bit less athleticism and less strength and power. You know, Alpar is also good on the ground. She's quite dangerous, but I think I would give the advantage to Blanchfield on the ground as well. I said I think because, like I told you guys in the beginning, I don't have much footage. So this is basically the comments that I have for you guys here, my calculations for this fight. I would bet maybe Erin Blanchfield by decision. If the line gets to this, I don't think it will. Maybe Alpar by decision is not a bad idea. If you want to take a riskier bet, let's put it this way. But Blanchfield has the use, and she also has the better record. She fought tougher girls as well, you know. So she's pretty much a good. She's probably gonna win here, but I don't want to bet. If you want to parlay Blanchfield, I don't blame you, but I haven't seen enough on Alpar. That's mainly the reason. And Alpar, she's a tough girl. Don't make a mistake. She's not the most athletic, like I told you guys, but she's committed. She will try, right? So I don't want to risk my money on Erin Blanchfield. She's like minus 350 or something. To me, it's too much. All right. Arman Tsarukan versus Christos Giagos. Good fight. Tsarukan, super high-level wrestler. You know, this guy is also super young, 24, but he's one of those Russians that he's a martial arts for his entire life. Super committed to his career. Solid camp, training partners, work ethic, and whatnot. This guy is complete, he's well-rounded, so he's a good grappler from top, especially super tough to take and hold down. And he's fighting Giagos here, who is another very tough guy. You know, Giagos, he has a good overall well-rounded game. He's at his best when he's the wrestler, Giagos, when he can use his powerful hooks on the outside and take it to the ground, kind of impose his physical skills. It's quite tough to do against Tsarukan because Tsarukan is so skillful with the wrestling, and he's the more technical guy here. So it's a quite tough fight for Giagos. And I have Tsarukan as a quite strong favorite here. By my calculation, he's a 70% favorite. The lines are a little bit off if you're gonna consider my calculations and where the lines landed. So again, super strong favorite on Tsarukan, but to me it's quite expensive, you know, because Giagos is a little bit bigger. I'm curious to see if he can use his counter wrestling in this matchup. He could do more damage on the feet, you know, because he has the height. The reach is pretty much identical, but he has the height, you know, so I think he has some small edge there. He hits a little bit harder than Tsarukan as well, you know. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't want to bet Tsarukan at minus 500, minus 600. I don't know how much is that now. I'm not gonna parlay that because it adds very little to the profits, you know. So I think it's too much. But to bet Giagos is also quite tricky. I would bet Giagos maybe plus 600, you know. Maybe Giagos by decision if I can get like plus 800 or something, because there is value there. But it's a little bit of a long shot as well because Arman is a strong favorite here. All right, so these are my calculations and comments. Cutelaba versus Devin Clark. Interesting fight here as well, you know. They are quite similar fighters, I could argue, you know, maybe a little bit inside because both of them are their best when they are on the front foot, you know, especially Cutelaba, who is known for his ferocious power and intensity, especially on the weigh-ins. But on the cage, when he starts coming, he throws everything to take the other guys head out, you know. Big power, not bad straight shots. He's been polishing his stand-up lately. His offensive wrestling is also pretty good, but this guy basically doesn't have any defense, you know. He's either on the front foot or he's hitting shots. And the wrestling also holds true. He's good in the offensive wrestler, but quite poor on the defensive. Gets taken down pretty easily. It's not that easy to control him because he's so ferocious, you know, and strong. He keeps fighting, you know, so it's not easy to fight him. But he doesn't have much defense. Devin Clark, he skirts the defense more often than not. You know, he tries to time that powerful overhand, but he's at his best actually when he blitz forward and then go for a double leg. He could do that here, but I'm not. I was tempted to bet Cutelaba here. I think he's gonna have the advantage here. I think he's gonna be more taking the front foot more often than not. I don't like Clark much on the counter striking. You know, he shells up. He doesn't react that well when he's getting hammered. You know. Even though he has a good chin, Clark, you know, he's mostly like use his toughness to survive and then come on top. He could do that against Cutelaba, who's a guy that for the first round he's a monster. The second he slows down, and then on the third, he's most of the time he's tired. You know, so we could see Devin Clark winning the third round, Cutelaba winning the first. Second could be up for grabs. This is probably the most likely scenario, even though they can put each other out. Sorry. So it's a quite chaotic fight, but by my calculations, Yon should be a 60% favorite. So like I told you guys, I'm tempted to bet him. I decided to pass for now. I'll let you guys know in case I do bet Cutelaba, you know. But to me, definitely it's either Cutelaba or you're passing this fight. You know, it's quite chaotic, like I told you guys. I expect this goes to the decision because they are both so tough, but they could finish each other easily, you know, because they both have big power. You know, and they both take lots of risks. Gustavo Lopez versus Alateng Heili. Another good fight. Lopez is the better overall fighter here. He's a little bit busier, more aggressive, likes to get inside, so, you know, blitz with the overhands, with the swings. When he's countering, he has good timing on the overhand. He has good leg kicks on the outside. This guy is like a complete fighter. He also has good wrestling, you know, good grappling from top. He's the better grappler in this matchup. Alateng Heili, a guy that is more, he's competent himself, you know. Alateng, good straight shots, you know, good athleticism, quite fast. A high level wrestler. I think he's an Olympian. He's not a winner, but he's like high level wrestler, you know. But Heili doesn't have the same grappling as Lopez does. And Heili, the problem that I have with this guy is the lack of activity of the output. He has some flashes of greatness when he goes for that wrestling. He's legit. He's also legit when he throws straight punches. So he has potential, he has power. But I'm leaning towards Lopez here. The reason is I think Lopez is going to be more aggressive. At his best, I think he's going to be busier, avoiding Heili's shots, you know, and making the wrestling fairly competitive. He could take Heili down, you know, and control Heili because Lopez is the better grappler, like I told you guys, better camp and whatnot. The problem I have here, another one that I'm tempted to bet, you know, I'm tempted to bet Lopez here, but the problem that I have is that when he starts coming forward, he takes risks, and Heili is not a bad counter striker. He times those straight shots pretty well. We saw Lopez getting KO'd 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, so it's quite risky in this regard. But if you bet here, definitely it's Lopez. I'm considering Lopez by decision because it's not easy to finish Heili, you know, especially both on the feet and on the ground. It's not easy to finish. I know that Heili has some KO losses, but it's not easy to finish him anyway. So yeah, back and forth in terms of who can finish each other, but I think Lopez has a small edge because of the activity and the output, right? Montel Jackson versus JP Buys. This is a very interesting fight, guys. I'm very curious to see Buys here. The reason is he was disappointing against the Bruno Bulldog. I picked the Buys to win that fight, and I bet Buys. I lost that bet. It was pretty, you know, weird because I was thinking much more of Buys. I still think that this guy has so much potential. You know, he's an Olympian. This guy, he's at his best. This guy's legit. Make no mistake about it. Could be the weight cut that he had as a flyweight, you know. Could be that he was trying to change a little bit his game, because he used to be super aggressive with the wrestling and then gas in the third. I think he tried rather a different approach with Bruno Bulldog. He started getting caught, and then he kind of got lost in the fight. So I think that can happen. But I still have bias in a high level fight, you know. But he's fighting a monster here. Montel Jackson, probably one of the biggest guys for the division. You know, he's super tall, long, he's skilled, balls everywhere, basically, you know. Sensational with the straight shots, super long, like I told you. You guys, jabs and straight shots. On the wrestling, he's very good, both offensively and defensively. Super tough to take, hold down. When he gets on top, he's dangerous with the ground and pound, with the chokes, you know. On the clinch, he's dangerous with the knees and the elbows. This guy is complete. So to me, it's interesting that they're throwing, you know, JP Buys with one of the most difficult guys to fight against in the division, you know, top to bottom. But we saw Jackson being out-wrestled, and especially he has to fight in the back foot against... I just got a blank on the name of the guys, against Brett Johns and then Ricky Simon. So Jackson lost those two fights. They were both strong wrestlers. We have JP Bison as a strong wrestler. I still think Jackson is the favorite, you know, but to me he's like 60% favorite, you know. And the line is off in my opinions. I'm gonna take a shot on JP Bison, like I told you guys in the beginning. I think he can get inside and make it a wrestling match, you know. He's a high level wrestler. Jackson, again, tough to take, hold down, better striker here. But Bice knows what he has to do, you know, and he both to win fights, both to be at the top. And I think this guy, lots of people are overlooking this guy because of his last performance, right? So to me, definitely a dog or pass here. And I'm going with JP Bice by bet, but I'm picking Jackson. Tony Gravely versus Nate Maness, another interesting fight. Grappler versus striker. Gravely, not that he cannot strike, but he's an elite wrestler himself, you know, and a good grappling from top. Fast, athletic, you know, good angles with the wrestling. With the striking, it's quite poor because he comes in straight lines, he takes risks. He has never been KO'd, but I think at some point he will. Could happen in this fight, by the way, but not so much because Maness, he's a tall, you know, quite tall, lean, strong, powerful. Not that powerful, but strong guy. He has some power, but it's not like, you know, super heavy hitter. He's more like a volume puncher, Maness, but he's still yet to find his most effective strike. He's more like a MMA striker, doesn't like impose any specific style, you know, so it's not easy to deal with because he's tall and long, but again, it's not like elite striking or anything from Maness. I expect Gravely to take this down, hold him down. You know, I'm gonna be betting Gravely by decision. I was tempting to bet him, to put him in some parlays, but I think Maness could make it interesting here, you know, and I don't trust Gravely's chin too much, you know, and he also slows down the third. That's the biggest problem that I have with Gravely, you know, because on the first round he's excellent, the second he's pretty good, on the third I could see Maness finishing him on the third, you know, so I have a problem with that, you know, but Gravely by decision is probably a good bet because it's not easy to submit Maness and it's definitely not easy to TKO him, so Gravely by decision as a prop bet, that's probably what I'm gonna do here. Okay, so these are my comments. So sorry guys, I went the wrong way. Raquel Pennington versus Pannie Kianzad in the it's my biggest bet on the card on Pennington. Basically, Pennington is a better, you know, stronger, more powerful version of Kianzad, so I'm pretty confident on her. I think Pennington and also has more experience. I know Pennington doesn't have the best winning record, but she's been there with everybody, you know. And she has great wins on her career. She beat Misha Tate. She has been good rounds with Holly Holm. She beat Ariane Lipski. This girl is tough. She has a good chin. She has good wrestling, good grappling. Super tough to finish, you know, in all aspects of the game. Kianzad, not that great of a chin, you know. She's basically, you know, 1-2 and a 3-2-3 fighter. Kianzad doesn't kick much. Pennington kicks better. Hits harder, you know. I don't think Kianzad gonna be able to do much here, to be honest, guys. I think Kianzad gonna try that same combo over and over. Pennington gonna read her and gonna start, you know, landing clean. I could see Raquel finishing her, but not much. have a chance. So Raquel by decision plus 200. I would take that prop as well. You know, if you like Pannie, take a look on her by decision at plus 400, something like this. If you think that she can get off her combos, I don't think so. You know, I think Pennington has enough experience to read that and dominate, basically, you know. Plus Pennington can go to her grappling, take Kianzad down, hold her down. So to me, it's Raquel basically all day. This is my biggest bet of the card. I'm betting her both straight and also gonna, if I can find her by TKO even or inside of the distance, type of things I would take. I think Raquel by decision at plus 200 is gonna be difficult, but these prop bets may be interesting here. But like I told you guys, I'm parlaying Pennington and I'm betting her straight. Nikolas Motta versus Jim Miller. This is it's a curious fight. It's not easy to call. Motta, more of a striker. Don't have much footage to analyze. He's more like a power puncher. Gets inside and throws the bombs. Young guy, quite tough. You know, keeps coming. He's fighting a veteran, Jim Miller. Guy has over 50 fights. Can do pretty much everything. But he's longer at his prime. He's 37. He hits still quite decently hard. Miller, you know, has good timings and some stuff. You know, but problem with Miller is that he can start fast, you know, and then slow down the third. So Motta, I could see Motta doing pretty much the same because he's young, but he throws with too much, you know, power. Let's put it this way. He forces a little bit too much his strikes. But again, guys, I'm just picking Motta here because of the age and because of Miller, you know. If he cannot take to the ground, Motta could win, potentially based on aggression, you know. So weird to bet and to call, you know. I'm going Motta by decision here. I'm not gonna be betting this at all. I think, you know, maybe this fight goes the distance, maybe interesting, but Miller could submit Motta. Motta could TKO Miller. Even Miller could TKO Motta, I think, you know, because Motta has KO losses under his record. Unfortunately, I was not been able to find those videos, you know. So again, I'm a little bit on the dark here, so don't take my word too seriously. So I'm going Motta, but not betting here. Impa kasanganay versus Carlston Harris. This is I took the bet on Harris when he opened the line at plus 150. Now he's at plus 110. I put to you guys that I'm betting him at plus 110 too. So it's time to recording this video. But if you're following me and you're part of my Patreon, $50 tiers, you have the bet that I took him like 3 days ago. So what I see here, guys, kasanganay, again, another power puncher, gets inside, can wrestle a little bit, take top position, do some damage from top, can grab a little bit from top, not bad clinch game, but like I told you guys, mostly like a power puncher and a guy that imposes his physical skills. Carlston Harris, tall, long guy, you know, good, quite good technique, you know, especially, yeah, he's at his best when he goes like 1-2 and then he can shoot the double leg and play top position. He's also quite well-rounded, Carlston Harris. I think he's the better fighter here, guys. He has the height, the reach, and he has the technique overall on kasanganay. Kasanganay is younger, you know, tougher, can get, he's more durable. But Carlston Harris should be able to, if he fights smart, he's a quite decent favorite. If he goes to brawl with kasanganay, he still can win, but then kasanganay has way more chances, you know. So that's why I'm back and forth here, kind of 50-50 fights in my opinion. I'm going Harris by decision because he's the better fighter, you know. And like I told you guys, at plus 150, that was a line that I took on Harris. Now he's like plus 110. There's small value there, but I'll be a little bit more careful with this fight because Harris, he doesn't have the best chin in the world from what I've seen. He can get, you know, hit and hurt, you know, and again, I don't trust much his game plans. I think he goes a little bit, he gets a little bit too excited in there, you know. I'm not yet convinced that he's gonna execute a good game plan. He may, and again, if he does, he's a good favorite. So I'm taking this into account a little bit more. Plus, he has power himself, more experience. So I think the value is on Harris, but and definitely a dog or pass, but it's quite tricky. Be careful this fight as well. All right. So these are my comments and calculations. Joaquin Buckley versus Antonio Arroyo, another good bet for me. I'm expecting this to be rather interesting fight. Buckley, he's known for that outstanding and beautiful spinning, heel kick, KO, something like this. I don't even know how to call that kick. So, and also he's a guy that packs some power, compact, strong, power puncher again. He's still developing fighter, and he's not the tallest and the longest and the biggest middleweight, even though he packs power, like I told you guys, and he can look, interesting because of those things. But Antonio Arroyo, tall guy. I think people are overlooking Arroyo a little bit. He's not the best in terms of game plan execution. That takedown defense is pretty poor. He could do much better because he seems to have all the physical skills to be on the top of the division. I think Arroyo gonna surprise lots of people here. Antonio Arroyo has good straight shots. I think people didn't pick that much in the video because he was not able to win decisive with that, but when guys comes inside, he gets good 1-2s. That head kick is like powerful and it's nasty. Those head body kicks. He kicks hard. I think we're gonna see Arroyo controlling the range a little bit. Blasting kicks to Buckley's arms. If you ever train martial arts, you know what I'm talking about here. If you're holding pads to a guy that kicks hard, your arms pretty much go numb. Holding pads, if you're taking that like in your forearms, you pretty much go numb right off the bat. These guys are way tougher than average person, and so they can take a couple more. But Arroyo's power, guys, it's legit, and I think if Arroyo start kicking Buckley, Buckley can be put out as well, even blocking a kick or something. So to me, there is a value on Arroyo. I'm actually picking Arroyo here. I think he's going to be able to control the range, because he's way taller, even though the reach is probably the same, or even Buckley has longer arms than Arroyo. But Arroyo is much taller, and I think that we're going to see his technique shining here. He's at his best when he can strike, when he can take guys down, and he could take Buckley down. Buckley is not the best wrestler, so you're not going to see Arroyo having to, fight a wrestling match against Buckley. So to me, it's Arroyo's fight to win here. Style makes fight, and I'm pretty confident. And it's I think the third biggest bet for me here on Antonio Arroyo. Right? DAkota Bush versus Zhu Rong. Another interesting fight. Zhu Rong, he's a fairly experienced guy despite the age. Really incredible how many fights this guy has had at 21. And but in terms of style, he's yet to find his effective style. This guy is like he's a complete fighter. He can throw straight punches. He's a good kicker. Can take it to the ground. But from what I've seen, I think he's a little bit green. He's still yet to find his style, like I said again. Because I think when he starts getting challenged, he still doesn't know much what to do. I have DAkota Bush here winning because he's a good overall fighter himself. Rong is a little bit more. He's a little bit faster, bigger, and more athletic. But I think Bush, he's been out there. Even though he doesn't have as much fight as Zhu Rong, he's been there with tough guys. He has a good overall game, good straight shots, good kicks, good wrestling. Very good grappling from top. So I have Bush having more chances here. Especially he could have more chances with the grappling. Especially he could submit Zhu, because Zhu has been submitted before. I don't see Zhu finishing Bush much, unless he can catch him with a clean strike or something. Which there is chance, but not much. So to me, the value is on Bush. Plus, and this is the biggest one here, I think Bush gonna be the one being the aggressor. Sorry, this is gonna be the biggest difference of the fight, in my opinion. Because Rong, he could fight on the back foot, but I think he's gonna mostly avoid getting hit, but not doing much. So I think Bush gonna be able to be busier, touch him more, and take it to the ground, win the rounds more concisely. But I'm not too confident here, but it's like 1% money for me on Bush. There's some value there, in my opinion. Okay. Ariane Lipski versus Mandy Bohm. My second biggest bet of the card. I'm again taking a shot on Lipski. This is, I think, probably the third time, so I may bite my tongue here again. But again, guys, Mandy Bohm, on the striking, she's fairly sloppy, Actually, if you're gonna compare to the average woman fighter, maybe she's in average, but she's not average in the UFC. The UFC, she's a little bit under, and she's fighting Lipski, who is a hard-hitting, girl. This girl packs power, and from top, when she's in the offensive part, she could be the champion, Ariane Lipski. Her problem is defense. She doesn't have basically any. She gets hit basically with everything. She gets easily taken down. Even though from her back, she has some submissions, arm bars, good leg locks. So I'm favoring Lipski. Even on the ground could be interesting, because Bohm, she's not a good wrestler. So even Ariane Lipski could stop her, If Lipski grapples from her back, if she's active enough, she's the better grappler. I could be wrong here, but from what I've seen, it's not much to analyze on Lipski, because she basically just sits from her guard. But if she's active enough, she's probably the better grappler of the two. And on the feet, there's a massive advantage for Lipski. I'm again, putting my money on Lipski. Let's see if she's gonna finally give me something back here, because it's her fight to win, guys. She just basically has to stuff a body lock takedown and go to work on the feet. It's pretty easy, her path to victory here. But again, Ariane Lipski, we saw her getting taken down ridiculously easily and controlled. Let's see if I'm not gonna burn my tongue here again and lose another bet on Lipski. But either way, to me it's Lipski. If you want to bet, the best bet here, if you want to be more careful, the best bet here is definitely Lipski by TKO, because the line should be very interesting there, especially round 1 TKO. So if you want to be more careful, it's that and Bohm by decision, because Bohm not going to submit Lipski, not going to finish her. So this is probably the safest, but again, guys, I think Lipski, she has to come on top here and she has to dominate, and I think she will. Okay? Emily Whitmire versus Hannah Goldy, another good bet for me on Whitmire. The reason, despite Goldy being so fit, so physically strong and whatnot, she has a fighting style where she's basically a boxer, like a pure boxer in MMA. She can use a clinch, but she doesn't even use that often enough. This girl is strong, fit and whatnot. She has some power, but she's fighting Whitmire here, who doesn't have the most impressive record, but this girl has been out there with tough girls. She doesn't have many wins in her career, but I think people that don't know much about the game, they're not following with Emily Whitmire's career. I remember her from the Ultimate Fighter. I like this girl's work ethic. I like that she's super tough in there. She's willing to take risks and come on top. She's been there. She adapts pretty well with the game plan. Not always she comes on top, because she's like a rather young competitor in terms of her career. So she has been fighting tough girls. Got submitted by Poliana Viana. But she has good wins on Alexandra Albo, which is a super fit and powerful girl herself. So I think Whitmire gonna have her way around Hannah Goldy. Hannah gonna sit back and try to counter, as she always does. She'll look passive. I see Whitmire being able to control with the range. She's a little bit taller. She's way longer. She has the wrestling here, so I think she controls the range and she takes it to the ground. Basically wins a decisive decision against Hannah Goldy. I'm quite confident in there. I don't see Goldy. I see Goldy landing some shots. She could hurt Whitmire, but I don't see much of a chance. Could happen. But to me, I'm quite confident with saying that Emily is 60% favored, Marlene like 60 to 70. So I like Emily Whitmire here. I definitely like her by decision, even though she could submit Goldy. Should finish Goldy by strikes. Not gonna be easy. It could happen. Goldy finishing Whitmire, I don't see on the ground like submission. Super small chance by knockout. So yeah, to me it's Whitmire fight to win here, guys. Tafon Chukwi versus Mike Rodriguez. Another interesting fight, and Chukwi coming back to the light heavyweight division. Short, compact guy, likes to get inside, plod forward, throw his bombs. Quite slow guy for the division, has some power, but not like outstanding or anything. He's fighting Mike Rodriguez, who has all the physical tools to be the champion, but doesn't live up to his potential. Super tall and long, super like not that technical, but quite good stand up, has power, good straight shots, knees up the middle, kicks, but Rodriguez started getting pushed back. starts getting hit, he kind of gets lost in there. He doesn't also have great takedown defense. This guy could be easily one of the toughest guys to take down in the division because those legs are ridiculously long. But he doesn't have the technique, you know. But Tafon is not a guy that's gonna shoot much here. He could take Rodriguez down, but mostly on the third round. So I think Rodriguez is gonna win this fight, to be honest, guys. I think he's gonna be able to touch Chukwi more often than not. I'm just not betting Rodriguez because Rodriguez is not smart enough to fight a smart fight, you know. He could start trying to put Tafon out. If he starts landing and he guesses, Tafon comes on top in the third round, you know, or even Tafon wins the decision by pushing Rodriguez back from the second. So I'm not that confident in Rodriguez. Rodriguez is not a guy that you can trust, but he should win here. He has all the tools, you know. If you like Rodriguez by decision, is actually a good bet because Tafon is so tough, you know, to finish. Such an iron chin. Rodriguez doesn't have the best chin, but Tafon doesn't have the biggest power and the biggest reach, you know, not the fastest striker. So Rodriguez should also be able to survive. He's quite a tough guy. So this should go to the decision. This is a rather interesting fight. Goes to the decision prop. Should be a good value there. I also have a draw interesting here. Could happen that Rodriguez does more damage, you know, close to a 10-8 round in some judges' eyes, and Tafon wins the next round. The third round so boring that people don't know how to score, this type of things, you know. So could happen a draw here. I'm actually gonna take a draw on this one. Let's see what happens. All right. But rather than that, I think fight goes the distance here. It's probably the best bet. And then the main event, Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. The veteran versus the prospect here one more time. Spann actually has quite an extensive record. He's not have little experience or anything. But just a second, guys. Sorry about this. So yeah, so Anthony Smith, at his best, he has a good jab and good straight punches. Can grapple pretty well from top. From the bottom, he's also not bad. But he's fighting a guy here in Spann that is a heavy hitter and doesn't have the strongest output. But in the front foot, he's pretty dangerous, you know, especially in the first two, which gives me the idea that the best bet here is Anthony Smith either by late finish, like rounds 3, 4, 5, or Anthony Smith, and the best bet here is Anthony Smith on a live bet because Spann could win the first round. He could even win a 10-8 round or something, and Smith comes on top like a comeback or something because Smith is the Lionheart and Spann doesn't have the strongest output and slows down quite significantly. Fight inside of the distance also probably interesting if you can find at these lines. I don't think you can because I think everybody expects that they finish each other, so probably Anthony Smith in a live bet's the best here. Anthony Smith on the late rounds, or even Spann in the first couple rounds, you know. Spann has enough power, and he could even submit Smith with that standing guillotine, this type of thing. He has a good choke in there, you know. So it's either Spann early or Smith late, right? So guys, this will do for this video. I hope you like this video. If you like, please like, subscribe. So as I commented from the beginning, my Patreon tiers, I have the $5 tiers for the lock of night and top 2 parlays. I have this video already up in my Patreon, so you guys can take a look there. If you join, show your support to the channel. This is more accessible for everyone, so I hope lots of people jump in here. For the $10 early releases, and you have this material that I just shared for $10. For 15, it's line by line all the bets that I'm taking, and for the $50 tiers is the ultimate pack where I have line by line all the bets that I'm taking. And also, like I told you guys, I have bets here from Harris being like a 1+150 +150 dog, you know. So all the lines that I take, all the parlays, everything that I'm doing, you can take a look here, and basically if you trust me, you can do whatever you want with this. All right, so this is the $50 tiers. For 15 it will be all the pro bets. I'm showing this to you guys as sort of a gift to you guys, also becomes interesting so you guys can see how I'm doing. Plus I'm still adding things here, so feel free to join the Patreon $50 tiers. I think this is gonna be a rather interesting card. Alright guys, again, thank you for watching, and if you're with me until the end, thank you very much again, and see you next time. This time from Zrodder Bet, bring the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.